And as we mentioned, one of those in Pocatello for the awards was Superintendent of Public Instruction Sherri Ybarra. KPVI News That Works for You journalist Heather Ann Wagner sat down for an exclusive interview about Idaho's education.
Idaho's Superintendent of Public Instruction was in Pocatello to celebrate 2 teachers. Another thing to celebrate is Idaho's education ranking climbing higher.
Would like to say a huge heartfelt thank you to all of our educators out there. The work is really an example of their hard work and what they do.
Some of the work is put into advisory boards and input into legislation. This year, moving away from Common Core became more of a reality.
The things that the teachers and the parents and the stakeholders across the state worked on was simplifying and streamlining those standards so that parents can help their students better understand their homework and engage in their educational career.
That decision was based on feedback from parents and educators. Superintendent Ybarra says changing the standards is what people in Idaho want. And one of those wants was for children to not repeat the same topics year after year in school.
You don't want your students to learn about butterflies in first grade and then learn about butterflies again in second grade and then also learn about butterflies for a third time in the third grade.
Common Core isn't the only thing the superintendent hears feedback about. Critical race theory, or CRT, in schools is another.
Pulling out what's being learned around civics and putting it in a standalone document so parents can see the transparency in what's being taught. A parent's not going to go to page 46, line 3, item 5B, and understand what their student's being taught or even know where to find it. So we did that work for them, put it in a nice, neat document so that there's that transparency around what's being taught around civic engagement to my students, and then they can see that CRT is not part of that.
By streamlining standards and simplifying civics in school, along with advisory boards and supporting students with initiatives, Superintendent Ybarra plans to take Idaho's ranking even higher. She also has plans when the legislative session ends.
We'll be traveling the state in April on something called the post-legislative tour, out talking to educators and the communities about legislation and laws that might affect their community.
Reporting in Pocatello, Heather Ann Wagner, KPVI News That Works for You.